right, guys. This video is going to be on tether training. Tether training is just a fancy word for, or a fancy phrase for putting a leash on your dog at all times. So, again, not really dog training, but part of that management system using your crates, your X pens, your baby gates, and your leash is how you set these guys up to succeed and how you teach them in the moment with how you're living with the dog. Okay, so. Say this all the time. It doesn't matter what video you watch or how many in-person training sessions, or you send your dog to a 3-4 week board and train. It doesn't matter about any of that stuff if it goes into an environment where you don't have any rule structure or boundaries and you don't continue with the training. So, most all of your dog training happens inside your home. So if with how you live and interact with your dog on a daily basis. So if you can start to make your repetitions in your home and the behaviors, the good behaviors rehearsed, they kind of become the default, right? So right now, I'm looking for calm. I try to teach my dogs to always be calm. When they lay down like this on their own, I drop a piece of food. I let them know, hey, when you're calm, awesome stuff's going to happen. So this is part of when I got this dog on a tether, this is a 12-week-old puppy, guys. All he wants to do is go around and do whatever the hell he wants to do. He just makes one mistake after another. Mistake, 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 mistake. They're just stupid. Again, they don't know. So I love how stupid they are because when I put a leash on them, I can turn every little mistake and little thing that they do into a teaching moment right there in real time because I have a leash on them and I can control the situation. It's crazy to me to think how many people can solve so many of their issues with a leash. The amount of behavior issues I get asked about what to do doesn't even matter. Jumping, biting on you, going after your slippers, recall. My dog doesn't come back to me when I call it. It's playing with my other dogs too rough. Every single thing can be solved pretty much with a leash if you put it on the dog and prevent it. So having a leash on the dog inside your home, tethering it to you physically, tying it to your belt loop if you have to, and not if you have to, but you should, and make the dog go everywhere that you're going to go. Okay? And when this happens, come on, let's go. The dog's going to start engaging with you more. They're going to start wanting to be with you. If they start protesting you, you ignore it. Okay? When I go into the other part of my house here, I got my other dog off leash in there. She's chill. She'll just be laying on her place cot or whatever. But if the puppy walks by and sees her, he might lunge at her. Okay? If I don't have this leash on, he's lunging at her, invading her space. She clearly doesn't want to play. She's just laying there minding her own business. He needs to learn not to be a dick. I don't allow playing inside the house. The dogs aren't allowed to play in the house. The house is a calm sanctuary. So when I have a leash on the dog and I want to free walk around in my house with my other dog in there, but I don't want them to interact, I prevent it. I put a leash on the dog. If your other dog can't behave like that, then you're going to need a leash on that dog too, or however many dogs you have, or you use your baby gates, your crates, whatever, and you keep them separate. But for me, tether training is crucial. This dog's been here 3 weeks. It's never not had this leash on unless I'm in the contained area right here and we're playing. And to be honest, it's still got the leash on 99.9% of the time. I take the leash off when I put it in the crate for the night, or anytime he goes in the crate, I don't like the collars on. My dogs are naked in the crates. I just don't like them on I don't want them getting caught on anything. So this dog's always got a leash on. When we go out in the backyard, it's got a leash on in case I need to. I'm not always holding the leash. I like to drop the leash out in the backyard. It's fenced in, it's contained. And we do a lot of engagement stuff. We play, flirt, pulls, all that stuff. This dog's not always attached to me. But when we come inside, I'm always tethering this dog. And if I'm not tethering it to me right here, this leash is just within reaching distance. Because if I get down, right? If I get down and I want to play with this puppy's super mouthy. Come here, buddy. He's awesome. But he just loves to bite the shit out of me. All right? So he'll get I don't know if he'll do it on camera right now, but he's tired. He'll get overexcited, start trying to hump me. When he goes above threshold, he just redirects with his mouth and all that stuff. Without the leash, I already have holes in me, but without the leash, it'd be way worse. So when he gets really crazy, if he starts to like try to bite me and stuff, I'll just leave it and I pull him back and I give him some information. Yes, good job. If he does that, I'll mark and reward it. But I always have this leash on. I try to get some video and I'll try to feather it in of when I'm walking around the house with my other dog, and how I control that because I have the leash on him. Like I said, if he's tied to me, I can control all their interactions. If he tries to jump on my wife, if he tries to jump on the counter, the gas stove, everything, he just doesn't know. So everything's brand new to him. I can turn all that stuff into a teaching moment with the leash. When he makes a mistake, he goes up on the counter, I go off, I guide him off, his paws hit the ground, I go, yes, good job. He tries to jump on my couch, I got the leash on. I go off, he gets off, I mark it, yes, good job. He's starting to learn what off means. We're not even training off, but by having the leash on, he's going to learn what off means because I mark and reward when he does the right thing. He's going to learn what leave it means because I mark and reward when he does the right thing. If we're working on sits or downs, I'll mark and reward that stuff. He doesn't even know down yet. We're starting to work on it. I'm going to make some video with that. But he knows how to sit. He's starting to get his recall. Leave It starting to really take place. The last couple of days, we're having a lot of success with Leave It. He's getting there. So every day, as long as I see little wins, I'm happy with that. None of this stuff's going to happen overnight, especially with a puppy. It's all about molding them and teaching them and being patient. So I'm not a huge fan of carving out all kinds of time in my day to try to do training sessions with my dog. I just turn everything into a training opportunity by having a leash on the dog. So we're literally training all day long. The dog doesn't even realize it, but that's what's going on here. You're training your dog 24/7, whether you realize it or not, guys. They learn through repetition and pattern, and if they rehearse the same behaviors over and over, even if you're saying no, stop it, don't do this, whatever's coming out of your mouth, you're training them to do the exact opposite because you don't have a leash on. You're not stopping the behavior. That's how they learn. I always use the example about, if you walk your dog every day at the same exact time, say you walk your dog at 5 o'clock, every day at 5 o'clock, as soon as your dog sees you grab your jacket or go near the leash, they perk up, they know what's up, and they get all excited. And you never did a training session with the dog and said, hey, when I grab this leash, get excited. Repetition and pattern, you do it every day. If you're walking your dogs every day, you know what I mean, though. They learn all that stuff by repetition and pattern. So harness that, take advantage of it, put a leash on it, make the repetition and patterns really good things, really good behaviors that you're looking for. Your dog, you got a dog that runs around like crazy, won't calm down, and it finally just lays down on its own, like this dog was just doing. It was just laying down on his own. That's when I give the dog food. I'm not going to get off. Yes, good job, buddy. All right. So I'm marking it. I'm taking an opportunity to train right there in the moment when he jumped up on me. Okay. This is going to help when you always get the question, how do I get my dog to stop jumping on my guests? Stop waiting for your guests to show up and trying to train in the moment. Tether train for a month. Every time your dog jumps on something, say off and mark and reward it. Now when guests start coming over, which is a new picture for the dog, and they go to jump, at least you have a command that you can start working on, and you have a leash in your hand, and you can start teaching the dog in that moment instead of it being for the first time. You can't train in the moment. So if you have a leash on your dog at all times for a month or two, especially with the puppies, it's crazy not to have one. You know how easy it is to potty train, crate train, all this stuff when you control their environment by having a leash, crates, baby gates, X-pens, having rooms where you can separate things so they can't get in trouble becomes really easy, guys. That's more on us. Your dog does not know any better. They're going to make nonstop mistakes, okay? So tether training, I can't recommend it enough. It's almost like if you're not doing it, in my opinion, you're absolutely crazy. I can tell you, I buy cheap nylon leashes. I buy like boxes of 20, but I give them to all my clients. But I cut the loop off at the very end so it can't get caught on anything in the house. So if I do have them in a room like I'm in right now and I want to drop the leash and let them kind of walk around, but I still got my eyes on them, I'm always supervising them. They're never out of sight. I can go over and grab the leash if he goes and gets my slipper or whatever. I get them on Amazon. They're like $5 or $6 a piece. I buy boxes of 20 of them for like $18 if your dog's chewing through them and whatnot. But If they're chewing through it, you can start working on that too. If you're using a leash, put 2 leashes on the dog, start marking and rewarding, tell them to work on your leave it command, all of that stuff. Anytime you want to teach the dog a brand spanking new behavior, you have to do a training session. Teach them that behavior, whatever it is. Sit down, whatever it is, leave it. Then just start getting your reps in every day with your interactions with them. Make them sit before they go outside. Make them down when they're going to do something. If you're playing tug or anything like that, start throwing in your obedience in there. Get your repetitions up that way. If you just wait and grab treats every day and do a 10-minute sit, feed, you're going to create a dog that only does it when you have a handful of treats and you're in that picture. Do it all the time, everywhere. Change it up. So if you're tether training, that happens naturally because the picture for them is never the same. Sometimes leave it as a slipper. Sometimes leave it as, it's my other dog. Sometimes leave it, it was a chipmunk yesterday when we were walking, a dead chipmunk, went to go pick it up off the street. It was leave it, before he got to it. Your training will happen daily. If your dog's on a leash for a couple of months, they're going to learn all of that stuff very quickly. But you do have to do a session with them to teach them that new behavior, but then just start incorporating it throughout your day. So hope that helps. But tether training your dogs, guys. Again, the leash, best training tool ever invented. Use it. It's your best friend. Good luck.